dare you?
The brother on the one joining us, he just hopped in. What's
Awesome.
going on, brother?
Hey, man. Now I got you on
How you
screen.
doing?
Pretty good, man. We're just talking about cómo trabajas como burro. You were at work?
Man, I just got off. I had to do what, hour and a half of borderline to cross into DJ,
Hell yeah.
and then traffic through DJ just to get to here, man.
Well, I'm glad you made it, man. Safe.
Yeah, all praises, all praises. So, verse 15, and he saw that rest was good in the land that it was pleasant. And this is, rest was good is talking about siestas. Us as the people, we like to take siestas, we like to rest, we like to kick it, we like to have a good time,
Yeah,
right?
man.
Specifically rest. We work hard, but at the same time we play hard, right? And the land that it was pleasant, this is talking about Mexico. Well, Mexico, statistically speaking, is extremely high in natural resources. I think it's top 5 in the world, maybe top 3 in natural resources. And not only that, but it's top 2 in vacation getaways because we're surrounded by water on both sides. So all the people of the world come to Mexico to get away and vacation.
That's right.
In Mexico, and statistically this is proven, so it's not something we're just pulling out of a hat. This is numbers substantiate this, right? On another note, this also talked about the prophecy of an Aztec king that had a vision that he would see an eagle on a cactus, not eating a snake. That's actually a misunderstanding of history. The Spanish added a snake to disrespect our people and our culture of honoring serpents, right? But an eagle perched on a cactus, and that in that land he would settle and establish what we now know today as the Aztec Empire, right? That land would be pleasant, that land would be fruitful, and bowed his shoulder to bear and became a servant as a tribute. So us as a people, and we can specifically reference the conquest of our people by the Spanish, we bowed our shoulders to bear and became a servant as a tribute to them, right? Tributaries. To this day, that's who we are. All the work we do, all the work we put in, all the land we till, all the food we grow goes up to the United States, and we get what's left over, right? When the Spanish were ruling in Mexico, they had encomiendas, they had slavery going on, full-fledged slavery, and all of the gold, all of the jewelry, all of the riches were shipped back to Spain as a tribute, and we were left with nothing, right?
Didn't I think AMLO tried the Mexican president right now? He tried to get like some artifacts back, or he tried to get Spain to apologize, and they were like, "No, why? No, what?
Yeah.
Why are we gonna?"
Yeah, exactly. They have the plumed feathered crown of Moctezuma in a Spanish museum. We asked for that among other artifacts back, and they said no. You know? And we not only isn't that crazy? We asked for an apology, and they said no. We don't have no reason to apologize. Apologize for what? See that?
There you go, man. Just the disrespect right to your face. Didn't on the census? Didn't we have to put like white? Like at one point, like isn't the whole census also skewed? Like that's why they also don't represent us like anywhere. So we don't get represented. We're infested with cartels, gangs, demonic cartels and gangs, and then displaced all over the place. Of course, poverty. It doesn't look good, man. I'm believing the prophecies more and more. Like I wouldn't say I'm a I'm not like I wouldn't claim Israelite because you know what I mean. Like I still do a lot of sinning myself, so I can't claim something that I'm like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? You guys probably understand. So I wanted to say, hey to your partner, Shalom. I got that word, I think, in. And but I wanted to see how did you get into the movement, man? What were you doing before you got into the movement?
Since I was a kid, since I first got a computer, I was already researching like conspiracy theories. And that this is from like I want to say I was like 10, 11 years old. You know, aliens, things like that, conspiracy theories, landing on the moon, 9/11, all these things. And since I was a kid,
I could tell that I was just this like mm, thing that would see that everything was wrong. Like there was this corruption and bad everywhere we went, whether it was school, whether it was church, whether it was the park, everywhere I went, there was something off and wrong with people. And there was no answers. And this was as a kid, so as a kid, adults don't really pay attention to you, when you ask questions, they don't really get into a serious topic with you. So as I grew older, got into high school and more into technology and whatnot, I still kept researching conspiracy theories. I got into like the Illuminati, Skulls and Bones, the Masons, Bilderberg, researching all these other different conspiracies because I felt like there was a truth out there. And at least I had this theory in my mind that it's like throwing a dart. You're not gonna hit it in the first try, but eventually I'm gonna hit the bullseye. Eventually I'm gonna hit the truth. Like if I can searching down this rabbit hole, like eventually I'm gonna run into what I'm looking for. And so I was Catholic, and I went from Catholicism to Christianity to like they're nearly full-fledged Buddhism, where to the point where I was about to like I wanted to go to Thailand to like a monk temple and just meditate for hours because I just wanted to reach, something spiritual that could answer the questions that I had. Back in the world, I smoked weed, I did, hallucinogens because I wanted to reach that. Like everybody else, you think you smoke weed and you're like spiritual, but you're not. You just high inside that. Yeah, you're really not. You're talking about nonsense. But I would do it to see if I could find some sort of answer. And long story short, I work in the medical field. I'm a phlebotomist. I draw blood, and my very first job was working at a plasma bank, and I ran into another brother, and I was all about health and cleansing, so you can have a better conscience and you can reach that spiritual level to have a clear conscience, to see the truth. And this brother was kind of on the same vibe, we were both smoking weed and talking these crazy conversations. And I quit that job on the spot, like 9 months in. I quit the job on the spot. I stopped seeing the brother, and me and him, vibe really well. A whole year goes by, and this brother randomly hits me up, and he tells me, "Hey, you know what? Like, I think I got some information for you. I think you're really gonna vibe with it. You're gonna like it." And we'll link up at this restaurant. And he starts telling me little things, like, hey, like, that Christ is white, and I grew up Catholic, so I was like, what do you mean Christ's not white? He's white, you got the blue eyes, you got blonde hair, like, what you mean? Like, and he's like, nah, Christ is black, man, and you're really a Hebrew Israelite, that's your nationality. And I would read the Bible, like, I would crack the Bible open and I would read it, but I didn't know what I was reading, it just felt good to read it, but I didn't understand what I was reading. And he started explaining to me some things of the Bible, and he explained a lot. And in the moment, everything was clicking. I was like, bro, everything you're saying is everything that I've been looking for. I feel like it's everything that I've been looking for my whole life, man. Like that's great. And he told me so much information, and I was so excited and so pumped. I go home and I try to. It's so much information that when you try to share it again, you don't do it in that order anymore. Because you're like, wait, how do you say, like talking about it? And I try to share it with my family. My family was like, man, you're crazy.
You're bugging, bro.
Yeah, like you smoke too much weed, you bug that hell out. What do you mean Christ is black? What do you mean you in Israelite? Like, and I was trying to explain it to him, like the bro did to me, and I was just like, man, I was like, bro, I know what I heard is true. I just don't know how to explain it. And he invited me over to downtown San Diego, where the bros would do their camp. And the first day I stood there, the leader of our camp, Chief Priest Alazar, the guerrilla Hebrew, he was going in, and he was explaining history, archaeology, explaining prophecy, explaining the Bible. He went into detail how I was Mexican. I know that video is still on YouTube actually, where I was prospecting, and I asked like, I want to learn more about how I'm with Travis Issachar, and they explained it to me, and I became a junkie for history, man. I'm telling you, after that I was 2, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, just reading, researching, looking for books, codices, popular, man, all kind of ancient artifacts. My dad would go in the room at 2, 3 in the morning and be like, "Hey, that's good though. What the hell are you doing?"
So a lot of celebrities are now picking up on the whole Hebrew Israelite thing. You got Kendrick Lamar, you got Kodak Black, you got I think Chingy also is a is a Hebrew Israelite, and then also who else? Kanye West, Big Sean,
Nick Cannon,
who?
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon. Oh, Nick Cannon got
Yeah.
chastised, didn't he?
Yeah, he got chastised by his masters when he came back on TV and crawled back to the so-called Jewish man and said sorry back to master.
He had a good talking to, huh?
Yeah, they said, hey man, you want these women and these millions of dollars, you better say sorry.
But he
So,
practices. He has like multiple women, and we can get into that a little bit later. But I was gonna tell you, what do you think, man? Like it's really coming out. Like now, even like Kendrick Lamar. I mean, that's crazy. That
Yeah, exactly.
he's actually
And
his album is all about that, isn't it?
yeah, it is. It's all praise to the Most High regardless because he's gonna use who he's gonna use to get the truth out, and these brothers that are in the music industry are being used by the Most High to further the prophecy and to wake people up. So either way, it's all praise to the Most High. We ourselves, brothers being in this truth, we take it with a grain of salt because we also know that they're not really keeping the law. They're not really living that life. We don't expect Kendrick Lamar to be on the street with us teaching the Bible, but we give him props for at least doing something. Is it definitely a sign that the end is coming and Israel's waking up? Well, definitely. You know what I mean? We rejoice when we see that. What's his name? Horace Grant, four-time NBA champ Horace Grant with the Bulls in the '90s. He is claiming Israelite, and he's come to camp with us. He's congregated with us. He's been to Atlanta, and listened to the word and is building with us currently. So, real substantial people in the community are waking up to this.
got Brian Casey.
Brian Casey, as a matter of fact, yeah. The brother from Jagged Edge, Brian Casey, one of the lead singers from Jagged Edge, is a member of Sakari.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
And the other brother, he used to be ex-NFL player. He's Chief's bodyguard.
Oh, I forget his name. Oh man, I feel horrible for that. But yeah, I think he was either a wide receiver or a defensive end or a wide receiver. But he's building with our brother Chief Alazar in Atlanta. He's a soldier in his part.
Yeah. Growing like wildfire.
Yeah, growing. And I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. If you knowing this now, if you circle back and listen to rap music, even back into like the '90s, you hear rappers talking about the truth. Like for example, I noticed this. It blew me away. Outkast, their first album. I forget what the song is called, but it's one of the last songs on their first album. They say the Caucasus Mountains. They say that they reference the devil. They say the white man. They say he specifically comes from the Caucasus Mountains. Big Roo, he's one of the men that's a part of the Dungeon family that rolls with Outkast. He talks about Babylon. He talks about the lost people. Like he talks about Israel. He references Babylon, and he references America with Babylon, which is what we teach. You know what I mean? So I would say the understanding has been around in the music industry for a while, but they speak on it very covertly.
Right.
Imagine Jamaican music, the old Jamaican.
Oh yeah,
Dean.
yeah. That they stick at that part, especially then.
Interesting. Okay, great. Let's see what else we have. Okay, so also we have you guys do the street preaching thing, and there's others that do kind of more the TikTok preacher thing. You guys heard of Servant Mike, right?
Yeah.
The Jesus Christ dude.
Yeah.
I love that dude, man. His dances, he be pop locking, man. It's great.
Right.
And he's Mexican. It looks like he used to bang. You know what I mean? He was in the Pinta, maybe. I think I don't know. Like I don't really know what he's kind of doing with the whole this shtick, but it's working for him. I guess more power to him. You know what I mean? What do you guys think about Servant Mike?
I definitely do not say more power to him because
What? Why not? He's making raza, look at the Bible maybe, you know what I mean? They see a Mexican dude like, hey, you know what? Maybe I can pick up a Bible. He's got tats. Maybe I can.
See, that's the thing though, is it's one thing for our people to pick up the Bible. It's another thing for our people to pick up the Bible and actually try to view it through the lens of truth and objectivity and being an Israelite. Because you can pick up the Bible from, what's his brother's name? I forget his name. Would you just Mike?
Servant Mike?
Servant Mike.
Yeah.
And I'm sure tons of people are picking up the Bible and believing in a white Jesus because Jesus is not the real son's name, right? Jesus is the Greek name, and that's not even the way you say Jesus. The way you say Jesus in the Greek is Isu, right? The letter J hasn't even been around that long. Like I think it was less than 500 years. Right? So it's not even the son's real name. And we know for a fact that he's promoting Christianity, which came with slavery. They came with our oppressors, the Spanish, the conquistadors, And I just noticed one of the clips on that image that you're showing is him pop locking in front of what? What is that, like a white priest or a white Christian pastor or whatever?
That's the dude that invited him onto for his church service.
He's a spectacle for these people. They're not. You can't tell me they're taking him serious. He's a spectacle for these people. And they're like, these white folks clapping and cheering him on, and he's pop locking for a white Jesus. That's off, man. That's perpetuating Christianity, which is something we're vehemently against. Now, what I will say though is,
yes,
me personally is I give credit to his spirit and his zeal and his love and pursuit of God, because that's natural. That's his natural being is who he is, which he's an Israelite, right? So we naturally are very good at serving and praising and loving God, but we don't do it according to the true understanding of the Bible, right? He's up there pop locking and praising the white Jesus. That's crazy, you know what I mean? But I do love the brother's deal, and I love him for who he is, because he's an Israelite in my blood. We got precept real quick. Go ahead.
What's that? Verse 10 Romans chapter 10 verse 2, for I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge.
Right. So Paul says that we, as a people, have a zeal for God. We naturally love God and want to know God, get close to Him, and be with Him. But it's not according to knowledge, right? We're the highest population in the Catholic churches, in the Christian churches. We're packed in the churches like sardines, but we're on our knees in front of a white Virgin Mary. We're on our knees in front of a white Jesus. We're striving and killing ourselves and going broke, trying to worship a God that doesn't exist, right? And white folks are more than happy to let us pop lock and parade in front of them, praising a white Jesus that doesn't exist, right? So it's definitely a problem.
Absolutely. Let's see. Moving on. So speaking of these pastors and of these mega churches, so Mr. Kenneth Copeland, he kind of has been making a couple waves with, kind of the expensive and lavish lifestyles. What do you think about but then again, and people in the Bible did live like Solomon, like wasn't he the richest, or
Job?
Yeah, he was extremely rich. He was extremely rich and wealthy, and he was the wisest king in all of Israel.
There's nothing wrong with living a lavish lifestyle, I think, right?
You're right. Let me get this really quick.
If I can add to that,
Go ahead.
the difference with Solomon is Solomon was the king over Israel, not the priest over Israel. That's what the Levitical.
That's
the
true.
Levites were. So there's a difference, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why Solomon is giving that reign, he's giving that power, and is blessed with that. But the preaching and the priesthood and those ordinances are for the Levites at that time.
We got some precepts for you, bro, real quick. Get Ecclesiastes 7-12. Because you're right. And we agree. There's nothing wrong with money, and there's nothing wrong with having riches. But the problem comes when you put money over your people. You put money over your morals. You put money over God. You put money over what matters, and you sell out and you sell yourself over to the devil for money. Right? And we see that clearly when our people get involved with cartels, with gangs, with the music industry, the movie industry, right? And just in everyday life, you know what I mean? Our people on a regular basis sell out just to achieve that so-called American dream, right? You turn your back on your family, and you gotta leave your wife, you gotta leave your kids, you gotta leave your pueblo, and you gotta go up north and hustle and try to make it. You know what I mean? You gotta, to an extent, you gotta sell out for this money, you know. And the Bible says that there's nothing wrong with it. You just gotta make sure you got your priorities in order. Go ahead.
11 and 12 says?
Yeah. 7-12.
7 and 12. Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, and verse 12. It says, for wisdom is a defense.
Wisdom is a defense. The law, statutes, and commandments are a defense, right? That's your foundation. Specifically talking about Yahweh Mashiach, right? Wisdom is a defense in your daily life. Okay, it keeps you from evil, it keeps you from hunger, it keeps you from struggle, it keeps you from wickedness and sin. Go ahead.
It says, for wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense.
And money is a defense, because we understand we live in a world where money helps. It helps to have money. You buy food, it helps you get food, helps you pay the bills, it helps you have a car to get around, you put a roof over your head with money, you can set your family up, invest. I mean, you got a child, money helps you invest for your child so that your baby has a future. It's a defense against a lot of trouble in this world. There's nothing wrong with that. Get 1 Timothy 6:10. So this is where people get things wrong, though, because people say money is the root of all evil, and that's not true, right? What is the root of all evil is the love of it, right? Because, again, people will rape, rob, murder, steal, betray you over a dollar, you know. Go ahead.
You said
1 Timothy 6:10. And this is why, as Israelites, we have to stand on the Bible more than anything. We have to stand on the Word of God and Yahweh Mashiach more than anything, because that's our culture, that's our wisdom, it's our instruction. Right, go ahead.
1 Timothy 6 and 10 says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covet after, they have erred from the faith.
Right. Keep going.
And pierce themselves through with many sorrows.
See that? So you're in this faith, and your faith in the Mashiach Yahweh, your faith in the Most High, and keeping these laws is your foundation. But if you lose yourself in the love of money, you pierce yourself with sin, you pierce yourself with losing family, you pierce yourself with destroying your livelihood, destroying what you built, right? Straying from your walk with the Most High for the love of money. Right, it's misquoted constantly that money is the root of all evil. That's just not true, right? It's that people put money over what matters. Specifically, our people, we put money over God, over our family, over our children, and that's where, of course, we end up falling. We end up dead. We end up drug addicts. We end up destroyed. We end up without family because we sell out for money.
How dare you!